Hello everyone and a very warm welcome once again for RPM Esports round 9. Yesterday we've seen Logi's race, a great win from Matt Johnson there in the Alpine, dominating, starting on pole and taking the win. This night we are going to watch mid-gear, who will kick off in a wet Monza. So get your umbrellas out. I am joined by RPM Jones. I don't know if he's back already, but he forgot his umbrella in the car. Going to pick it up right now. I'll take you through the championship standings real quick. And in mid-gear we see RPM Boris, in his Alpine, leading the championship with 197 points. 3 points to get for him to cross the 200 line. Second place we see Lau in the AlphaTauri with 144.5 points. He has a half point to his name because we had some troubles in a previous round where we awarded the guys half points. Huss following Laura in P3 with 139 points, so only 5.5 point difference to the second place in the championship for Huss in this Red Bull. And Luke is behind Kron. Luke is behind Huss in P4, 2 points down on Huss. Same counts for Kron, who is only 5 points down on Luke. So there's everything to fight for. The only big gap in the top 5 we got is RPM Boris, who's having a 52-point lead on Loud in P2. Well, I have seen some cars getting out, and it is Evil Master who is making his return in mid-gear as a permanent driver. Definitely not what he hoped for this weather, and we've seen him have a little moment there. Manages to keep it out of the wall. And I hear my co-commentator joining me once again. As I said, RPM Jones on the other side of the mic. How are you, buddy?
Yeah, good. Excited to see some people actually go quick round here. On board with me yesterday, it was well within the speed limit.
Well, that's also very important. No speeding.
Yep. Keep everyone safe.
One of your teammates is gonna start his lap. It looks like it's really hard out there.
Yeah.
I'm gonna remove the tire.
I guess if it dries up in in Q2 and Q3, because obviously we've got the full qualifying today, it would change things massively.
I believe we see Crego there coming in the way of Evil Master a little bit. He was out of the way soon enough, but Evil Master decides to cut the grass with his Mercedes engine, of course. The green lawnmower for him at the moment.
Yeah, and I can't imagine it drying too much in this session, so I imagine people are going to circulate round here on the wet tyres and just hope it comes to them. And maybe it'll be into us in the Q2.
According to the TAS system we, of course, use in RPM, the entire qualifying, all 3 sessions will be full wets, and even the race is going to be light rain all the way.
Yeah, so a really different race from last night then, where we had perfect weather.
Yeah, perfect weather. You might have hoped for some rain. Maybe the others were even slower than you in that
pace. Yeah, that would have been tough to do. If they maybe shifted into reverse, they may have been on similar lap times to me.
Well, we see a lot of guys joining in the chat already. Shag Attack joining with RPM Colin, Sinful, Harry back to support Deck, of course, like every week. And Robastian as well. Rainy Monza is the worst nightmare.
I can promise you that the worst nightmare has been on Monza with me, so rain is probably a bit better than that, because I will spin everywhere here.
Yeah, I bet you will. We've seen that
it doesn't matter if
yesterday.
it's dry or wet.
Switching to RPM Boris, who is going into the final corner. Won't be too hard to beat Evil Master unless Boris has been cutting some grass as well. No, he is
2.7
almost
seconds.
3 seconds up. So next car coming through.
Huss is coming round the final corner now.
RPM Huss, as I said, third in the standings, really close behind Loud. So we'll be hoping to keep that going. And great improvement for Huss there, 4 tenths of Boris so far. Dragos now also
an equal. 1.5
goes,
seconds clear.
Yeah, that's a great lap from equal.
So this
Dragos
really
moves
kind of
into P4.
Complicates things, doesn't it, with the wet tyres? You know, the front runners probably expect to be in a certain position, but now it's all about who can find a traction with all these puddles around. And it doesn't necessarily lend itself to the fastest drivers or the setups they have, because the setups might differ now.
Well, we see Captain Michel moving into P2, beating Flying Boyvel, who did that right before him, and the other Haas driver, RT Rodo, also moving into P3, so that's both Haases behind each other for now. On board with always Rick, who is going to enter Ascari. You can see how difficult the circumstances are.
Yeah, they just can't get the cars to turn in at the moment.
Also, of course, with the light rain expected in the race, the drivers can see that as well. And are they going now for a wet setup? Is it going to be a dry setup because they know it's not full wet?
Yeah, and Luke's put himself into 9th there, and Rick just went past him into 8th.
Yeah, and I don't even know how many drivers will get eliminated right now, because of course no full grid. Normally the last 5 go out.
I wonder if people have put more fuel on board and are just going to keep going round constantly for the kind of 10 minutes whilst the track gets drier.
Yeah, also I don't know how many wet tires you get in a full qualifying, to be honest. You might be able to answer that question, maybe.
I mean, from my pace last night, I can see why you're asking if I know about the wet tyres. Obviously, I was in the dry. I think if I'd put the wet tyres on, they probably would have been as quick. So, but to be fair, I have no idea. I think that's what makes this interesting, is that we've got the full qualifying, but with that's a quick lap. Full qualifying with tough conditions as well really kind of changes everything for these drivers.
So Colin just reacting on the question in the chat, you get 2 sets of wets for the qualifying.
And that's why I mentioned before we came on air that Colin would lap me 7 times within 10 laps if I was racing against him. He clearly knows what he's doing.
Yeah, he knows more about it than you do at the moment.
Yeah, from yesterday I think we can decipher that I know absolutely
I
nothing
won't bring
about
it up too much, but I was there and I have seen it happen. Marco Salinovic is also joining us in the chat, shouting for everyone except Boris. So Boris will be happy with that one.
Yeah, and obviously Boris is... Evil Master improves quite a lot there. He's only 4 tenths off pole now. Well,
on board
it's not even provisional pole, is it? It's Q1.
Grego moves himself into P15. Rodo improves with a 31.1. So times are getting better and better. Oh, and a big moment for Deck.
Boris he seems to have good pace in the wet here. He still hasn't got a win this season. He's leading the championship by 50 points. Will he get a win before the end of the season?
Yeah, he didn't win a single race, right?
Yeah, but he's proved that the consistency really counts across the season.
Yeah, absolutely. He took two
Kron's
podiums, and Shakes, who unfortunately left RPM this week, was in P6 with 3 podiums. So there's 5 cars behind Boris. So Boris took all the other positions he could get, of course. While Kron and Krego looked like they collected each other coming out of second Lesmos.
Yeah, they're in the middle of the track there. So that will be them in 15th and 16th. And Vesmacina
are going
to
to a 31 flat. Great lap from him in the Alfa Romeo. Equal is not on a fast lap.
Yeah, he's pitting.
Evil Master is pitting as well, while we see Dragos also pitting.
Yeah, and Val, Flying Boy Val, invalidated in the first sector. To be honest, it doesn't look like it's getting any drier either. The rain's coming down hard, and there seems to be loads of puddles around.
That's not helping. Also, as you see on the stream right now, Flying Boy Val took a little bit of curb in that chicane, what's not possible anymore after the patch of the game. And in circumstances like this, you really don't want your car to be launched.
Yeah, you can easily end up wheeling through that corner as if you're on a motorbike. And then you've just got no control and gravel on the outside, so it's something you have to be careful with there.
Rick saying somehow the track feels very slippery. Well, I don't think,
that might be the rain.
Has ever seen rain before, but I wouldn't be surprised if Rick is going out on the softs, to be honest. But
I think from watching Rick in China as well, he seemed to find that slippery in the dry. I think Rick finds quite a few tracks slippery. And this is an apology straight away to Rick if you're watching this back. Backer encouraged me to say this.
It's all written down on a note. Well, we are following Loud on a lap. Is in P7, so on the safe side. I don't know if all drivers are safe at this point, of course, with the knockouts in 3 qualifying sessions. We see 9 drivers into Q3 yesterday instead of 10.
And Dex 1.2 up, which he'll be pleased with because he's had pretty good pace the last few races, hasn't he?
Loud not finishing his lap. So we move to Deck, who will finish it. He will not be happy with that P13 so far. And take the safest option, and that's improving your lap. And he does that very well with a 31.4.
Do we know how many cars go out in this session with just 16 runners?
I'm clueless.
And there we have it, guys.
I'm clueless.
You know me and Backer will always provide you with as much information as possible, but we always struggle with having any information.
The FIA is not really giving us the information we actually need. So
we'll blame that on Michael Massey, I think.
And while the RPM always Rick, who should be driving, to be honest, and not hang in the pit there, while we see Captain Michel improving to P7. RPM always Rick, also known as the director of commentary, saying an RPM announcement in the chat, looking for a new co-commentator. Somehow Jones can't do it anymore.
Yeah, that sounds like I've been fired mid-race.
Yeah, I would prefer you to stay just with me. So it's both, or it's nothing for Rick in here. he might retire his car already, since he will do that anyway, and take over the mic.
Yeah, and that will be you getting your P45 pretty soon. You'll be fired straight after me.
While we see Deck taking pole now at 30.7, the first car into the 1:30.
Yeah, that's a very impressive time.
I also wonder all the cars who are in the pits right now, will they even go out? I mean, I think Ves Messina, Rodo, Boris, Equal, Flying Boy, Val, the top 10 might be safe already, even though the knockout works different now.
Yeah, and Meisel's coming up to the last corner now. He's 2 tenths up on his time through the first 2 sectors, so he could get himself up into the top 6 or so.
He's diving in. That was a great highlight there. While we move to one of the Aston Martin drivers, and that's RPM Evil Master, the only Aston Martin driver, I need to say, because the other one is not driving. Also no reserve available there in that case. And Evil Master not improving, but might have been on just burning some fuel. And Boris already seen enough in the pits, retiring his car.
And Collins just told me to join Massey in the employment line. And I think he might not be far wrong.
We've seen Dragos just improve. Evil Master, Huss and Dragos might be the only cars on a lap at the moment.
And Boris is retired, so I'm assuming he thinks he's done enough from his time.
Someone who does want to improve is Luke, who is going to get out of the final corner now to start his lap. We are taking a look at Evil Master again, who's now heading to the exit of Sector 2. 4 tenths faster than his previous time. Great lap so far from Evil Master. Also improved a lot in Sector 1, so Evil Master is trying to get his car safe. And then we see always Rick and Mirko are both in the pits and not coming out. You think those guys?
I'm not sure they're safe. So I've just put this through the calculator, and this might be wrong, but I think it's how it works is it's the bottom 25% get eliminated. So if you're in 12th, you will just be safe. 13th, 14th, 15th, 16th will be eliminated, I think.
And Dragos not continuing his lap, so that means that Mirko at this point should be safe. Luke, of course, trying to improve, get himself out of the knockout.
Yeah. And he's 4 tenths up so far.
What will be right on the edge of Dragos' time. Colin applying here to reserve for the Aston Martins in mid-gear. Bit of sarcasm in that one. We know how much you like the Aston this season. Luke crossing line. Is he going to get himself safe? And yes, he is. It's P12 for Luke. That means Dragos might be on the knockout here. And Mirko.
If my calculations are correct, I do maths all day for my job, which you'd hope I'm correct, but we can see how good I am at my job when we see who gets through or not.
You might send an email to Michael to know for sure.
Yeah, exactly. Apparently I'm going to see him down at the job centre, according to a lot of the chat.
Evil Master in the gravel there. But safe, so they're gonna get his car ready again for Q2.
So with the TAS is saying, the telemetry saying it's going to be light rain in the race.
Yes, it is.
So with them running around on inters for, say, the first half of the race, we might see a dry line. So that could make that exciting as well.
We might see, yes, although the rain expectation percentage on the race is 72% for the first 10 minutes, and then it even goes to 80% and stays that way. So it will keep on raining. But of course, you never know what the line does and how hard it rains. And there you see a deck putting the fastest lap as only car in 1:30 so far. And we're going to have a quick look on the knockouts, and it looks like Kron and Krego are the only ones who get knocked out. So Dragos and Mirko get another shot in qualifying session 2. So that means we will lose the bottom 4 this time. So your maths did let down a little. But I'm glad Michael gave us an answer here. It's easy to say.
Massively let me down now.
It's easy, we know now.
Will it still be a top 10 shootout then?
I think so. Last night we had a 9 in the qualifying session 3 in low gear, but of course that also was Cosmo, who was in P10, crashed out in qualifying session 2. So maybe the DNF had something to do with it. I don't know for sure, but it would be realistic, of course. Brian asking, is the race also full wet? So it is light rain for the entire race, 80% chance of rain, so it will be Inters for sure. Well, I'm opening my drink before this qualifying session.
And that's the sound of a commercial break right there.
We'll be right back. I'm trying to see who gets out.
Oh, and Val has just spun straight out of the pits.
Oh, I know that feeling.
No damage by the looks of it. I don't know if you can tell us more on the telemetry. It looks like he just avoided the barrier.
The TAS system not showing any damage on the AlphaTauri of Flying Boy Val, of course. The tires will be a bit more up to temperature than he hoped for, but
and Brian saying he hopes high gear will also be full wet tomorrow.
I hope so not, but Alex saying Inters are going to be it in the race.
Yeah, and I think that's probably a good shout. I think the fact that you'll have 16 cars going round, slightly lighter rain in this, I think there'll be some dry line, but maybe not dry enough for actual dry tyres.
Colin asking if Flying Boy Val gets a penalty for crossing the pit lane there. The game does give you a warning, because I did exactly the same in Monza. I even got a recording from it, but it does give you a warning indeed, but it does not give you a penalty straight away.
You might need to take that one up with the steward's room, which is where I've spent most of my last week.
Yeah, and still you didn't get Michael to send us the right information.
No, yeah.
Or in RPM's case, it's Boris.
Yeah.
So do you have any predictions so far on the drivers who will not make it, looking at the pace in Q1?
Well, I think...
also in the chat I would like to hear some names.
Yeah, I mean, I think Rick was on the cusp, wasn't he? Mirko and Luke were down there. Whether they can find a bit more pace. They seem to be struggling a bit. But then again, I think the conditions change a lot, and, you know, anything can happen in the wet here. If someone applies the throttle too much or something out of a corner, they could spin off into the barrier and that's retirement straight away. So anything could change. Yeah,
you're right there. You're never safe with this kind of weather, as we see with Flying Boy Val already, who spins around for the second time and does take some damage now. lost half of his front wing. Moving back to his teammate, who is coming up to the final corner to set the first lap in Q2. What will be the first time, the time to beat for the rest? How cautious has Laur been? Not using too many of his ERS because he's still on 82. That's a 31.7 from Laur.
And what was it? It was a 1:37 for the fastest time of last session.
Yeah, I believe Deck did a 1:30.7, yeah. While Evil Master is also coming to the line in at 32.8. And there's a lot of cars coming now.
And I think that confirms what I was feeling yesterday with my Aston Martin. Clearly the Aston's just not quick round here. Nothing to do with the driving.
Boris coming to the line, 31.5 from the Alpine driver. So
yeah, so I think from those early times we can see that it's a case of just circulating. I think just getting the laps in.
Getting into P3 at the moment. Huss taking P3 away, and Rodo to 30.9.
And that's
followed
really
by his teammate in P2. So both Haas drivers are ready for it.
Yeah,
Brian already thanking you for the excuse for tomorrow.
That's the good thing about being in the same team as me. You can always say it's the car. Just don't watch my driving on board and you can say it's the car.
Mirko moving into P5. So the struggles of Q1 so far are gone for Mirko. Always Rick, who is still in the pits. Not planning on a lap so far. Deck on his first try into Sector 1.
And Rodo seems to be really thriving in the wet conditions here. He was very quick in Q1 as well.
Absolutely, while we see just Evil Master getting P2. I was about to say Laur split the Haas drivers up there, but Evil Master comes in between Rodo and Laur as well.
0.001 seconds as well.
While we lost Mirko here now with a 31.9 on the board. That's it for him.
And just to go back to Brian there, clearly it's not an issue with the Aston, it's my driving after Evil Master puts it into second.
But as you can see, we know now from the knockout, the time of Mirko, the 31.9, gets deleted by the game.
Yeah. And an interesting thing here is Equal is doing his flying lap on the Inters. So that's one to watch out for.
Oh yeah, also always Rick fitted the intermediates, but not going for a lap yet, while Deck takes pole with a 30.7, 2/10 improvement on the Rodo. And we're gonna move to Equal to see how the tires work, and it doesn't look really comfortable to look at.
Yeah, definitely got a lot of wheel spin out of the first chicane there.
Also, always Rick might be looking at Equal right now and be considering if he even needs to take the Inters. But he does so far. Yeah, he's on an outlap on the Inters. Don't push it too hard, Rick. Please don't push it too hard. We've seen him do this in France in the race. Behind a safety car on a straight.
I didn't want to mention it.
I like to bring up some old things that happen. He will also be before Equal. Yeah, he will start his lap before Equal. So we're gonna go follow RPM Always Rick here on intermediate. Any other cars around? Yeah, Rodo also fitted the Inters in the pits. Same for Evil Master, but those guys look to be
the Equal's on 1:32.3, which isn't miles away.
Strangely enough, Mirko keeps in between. While the game just deleted his lap and there were 32 times in front of him. Now the game keeps his time. Always Rick made both chicanes so far.
And it does look like on the racing line it is a little bit drier. Not massively, but it seems to be less puddles.
It does, yeah, although Rick is taking the wet line here.
And Equal was 1 second up on his first 2 sectors, so maybe the Inters are coming into play here now.
I'm going to switch to Equal after Always Rick crossed the line. Flying by Val puts down at 32.8, but we've seen both Alpha Tauris not using ERS on the first lap, so he might be burning some fuel as well. Always Rick now coming to the line, it's a 32.4. Equal coming to the line with a 131.5, puts him in P9 on the safe side. Now Luke.
But that's interesting because that's close to a lot of the wet runners.
Yeah, it's really close, to be honest.
Oh, and Ves Messina has gone off.
Trying to see who's further in front. Yeah. It's Flying Boy Val, who will be putting a lap before Rick. I'm trying to see Rick's lap time, but I can't.
And I don't know if Luke's listening to us, but he's gone out on the Inters now as well. So there's a few drivers trying this.
Rick didn't improve a lot in Sector 1, although Flying Boy Val puts a purple Sector 2. Has been unlucky on his first stint, spinning out, coming out of the pit lane and during the stint. And now putting down his purple Sector 2, so Flying Boy Val is looking good.
Looks like he's heading for a low 131 here at least.
Taking a tight line. And that's a 31.2 for Flying by Val. Great lap from him, putting him on the safe side now. Always Rick also taking a wide line. Now on those Inters. I noticed that at Equal as well. Now crossing back and goes to a 131.8. No fuel left, so he might not even make another lap. While he is in the knockout stage, while we're going to follow Luke. Colin also saying in the chat now it doesn't look ready for Inters. And I agree with that one. You see a line form, but on board it's still very shiny on that line as well.
And I think that's the confusing thing, is because the Inters really aren't too far off the pace. It's just
Luke is
not
also
quite
on
enough at this
Inters, I
point.
just noticed, but Scary for the Ferrari driver. Closely followed by Always Rick. I wonder if, yeah, Always Rick is out of fuel now. He might have been hoping for that little slipstream, but no fuel left in the car to complete the lap. And Luke crossing the line and not improving, but has time for one more lap.
And Equal up into second on the Inters, 130.6.
Great lap from him.
So we might
there.
have a bit of a crossover coming here. So if Rick can get in and out quick, it could really affect some of the wet runners.
They're pushing his car in right now. I don't think he will make it. Obviously, I believe it's Captain Michel.
I mean, he's pretty much going to have to do if he makes it, he's going to have to pretty much do a qualifying lap on the way out.
Yeah, I don't think he will, to be honest. Because he's still in the... There is a McLaren driving out, but that's his teammate Dragos. Who will with 1 minute and 20 seconds on the timer, not going to make that. Flying Boy Val also down on his time.
Yeah, Luke's backed out of his time as well, so he'll have one more run on those inters if he's got enough fuel.
Huss, 4/10 faster than his previous lap so far. Followed by Luke. And Huss moves himself into P5.
Quite a few people heading out on inters now. Boris, Lau, Meisel.
Equal.
Also Dragos.
Gets back into the pits. Trying to see the Haas driver who is coming now. That's Captain Mizel. And he doesn't improve on his time. Has time left for another run. Dragos is on an out lap, so Evil Master will be the first one. But him validated his lap. I'm picking out the right guys right now.
Yeah, Luke's going through the first sector on inters.
So far, Luke is 7/10 down in sector 1.
Yeah, he's just had some moments there. Already spun.
And Rodo crossing Ryan already has P3 and keeps his P3 as well. Flying Boy Val, P9. He will try get a little bit further up, get himself safe.
So Equal had
he gains
unbelievable pace on those inters. Because the other inters runners seem to really struggle just with the grip out the corners, and it's an unbelievable time.
So with Luke not completing his lap, we know for sure that Vesmacina, Dragos, Always Rick and Luke will not make it to qualifying 3, while Boris sets a statement here with a 1:30.2 on the intermediate tires. So both McLarens out in Q2. I'm pretty sure they won't be too happy with that, but there's everything to play for in the race.
Yeah, and turn 1 being so tight has it can always get sketchy down there.
Yeah, I already struggle with it when it's dry, so.
That's a big statement by Boris on those inters.
Absolutely.
Obviously, being a championship leader, maybe he's chasing that first win in the season.
Need to say that Deck did his time on wets. 3/10 down on Boris. He fitted the inters but didn't do a lap on them. So as far as I can see, he did that lap on the wets. While we are waiting for Luke to enter the pits, and there you go. Yeah, as I said, RPM Deck in P2 on the wet tires, 2/10 down, almost 3/10 down on RPM Boris. Equal also really close on the inters. And unfortunately, we say goodbye to Mirko, who of course DNF'd. Luke, Always Rick and Dragos. Both McLarens just outside the top 10. Luke not too far off. Luke seems always to be decent in the race, so I bet there's no stress for the Dutchman there. So biggest surprise so far from my side might be Rodo, who's showing great pace here in the rain.
Yeah, he seems to be really fancy himself in the wet conditions, doesn't he, at the moment?
Yeah, he looks really comfortable. So both Red Bulls made it, both Alpha Tauris made it, and both Haas drivers also made it to Q3. And they will be joined by the Alfa Romeo of Vesmacina, the Aston Martin of RPM Evil Master, the Alpine of RPM Boris, who is my new teammate over the tail-wise, and the Mercedes of Equal.
And the conditions look very similar to the start of last session, where it was wet tyres were better, so with it being a shorter sprint to pole now, it's going to be very interesting to see what strategies people would go with on tyres.
Absolutely.
And how much fuel they put in as well.
All 10 drivers go for the mediums, for the intermediates. I mean,
if it were me, and it's that's, take this with a pinch of salt, all the viewers, because I often do very badly, I would put quite a lot of laps of fuel in there and just try and gradually get quicker, rather than coming in and replacing the tyres. Because it still looks incredibly wet there.
It's not only up to one driver, of course, but the more drivers do many laps, the more a line starts to form as well. So, but might make the Inters even work a little bit more.
I see Matt Johnston saying, "Let's go, Boris."
Yeah, Matt, of course, also our Alpine driver. Luke saying he is a bit stressed for the race. Well, I don't believe that at all.
Yeah, I mean, these guys would be quicker than me in the wet when I was on a dry, so I wouldn't be too stressed, Luke.
Yeah, but this is mid-gear and no low gear, Jones.
This
is your future gear.
I'm not too sure about that.
We just put out a vacancy for the safety car in mid-gear, so
yeah,
you can
exactly.
do it in an F1
I'll become
car.
the new Burt Mylander, yeah, exactly. Everyone will be complaining at me their tyres are too cold.
Brian saying, I hope Evil keeps it clean for a change. Well, we all do. We hope all drivers, of course, keep it clean. Turn 1 also known for a lot of chaos in Monza, especially now with the Inters fitted and a wet track as well. Turn 1 might get really interesting. Evil Master is the first one to set a track. It's just coming up to Ascari right now. Well, there are a lot of other guys on the lab as well. And
yeah, they're not wasting time to get out there at the moment.
Evil Master, of course, purple sectors because he's the first car, but both purple sectors got taken already. And yeah, it's a fight about the purple sectors at the moment. Let's wait for the final stints to... Oh, it's the first 29 of the qualifying session.
Yeah, so the Inters are the tyres to be on then.
Loud goes to a 30.6, but watching his line, it also didn't look like he was going for the fastest lap as possible. So Loud might be on the long run, as you said. His teammate might also be doing that, and Boris moves into P2 with a 29 as well. So
Evil Master's set some really good pace to begin with there.
Absolutely. The first car in the 29, and also 3/10 up on Boris, who has a 29, and Deck splitting both cars with a 29.6. 2/10 behind Evil Master. Vesmacina also putting a 29.9 for him. Captain Michel goes for a 31.9. Well, Hurst takes a 29.6 as well, moves his Red Bull into P2. And now Rodo, who we talked about, showing a great pace here in the wet. Going towards the line, and it's a 29.7 for Rodo.
Yellow flag in sector 3.
It did look like Evil Master was letting a car by. The car might be flying by Val, who's already coming for his second lap at 30.1. So he's not moving.
Yeah, and Lau's 6 tenths up at the moment going into the last corner. So he is, I think, just trying to go round for more and more laps.
And it's a 29.6 from Lauer as well. So we got P2, P3 and P4 into, and Boris. What a lap from him.
really setting the
29.3.
pace. And I think it's going to be really interesting because obviously each lap they go around, they're all improving at the moment.
Oh boy, Deck
129.1.
29.
Wow.
Can we even see a 28 falling now? It's
Well, I
going
think
really fast.
with 6 minutes left, I think the times are going to improve more. Like, I don't think what we see now will be anything like what we see at the end.
Captain Mizel going to P4 29.5. No, I don't think so either, because it looks like the track is improving, and we see the second Red Bull driver joining his teammate on the front row so far. Well, we get a yellow flag, and that's Boris, who is into the barriers.
And it almost looks like an advertisement at the top 4 right now. Just looking RPM, 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 RPM.
Yeah, it might be an RPM
In case
stream.
anybody doesn't know, this is RPM's channel.
Evil Master coming through the line, but invalidated, improved by 5/10.
So that
he
would have
was
been a
on the
128,
28.
yeah.
Lau
So the time's
coming in. Lau might be going for a new set of inters maybe. Equal on and out lap. Boris will go in. So we move to Deck, who already has pole. Is he going for that 28?
Nah, he's 2 seconds down. I think he's going to peel off.
So this will be the moment where drivers probably are going to take those new inters, except for Vesmasina, who is crossing the line with a 29.3 into P4 for him.
Yeah, and Equal's finally on a lap as well now. And obviously we saw in Q2 he had great pace on the inters.
Yeah, he showed a really good pace at a track that was not completely ready for it yet. So we're gonna move with the Mercedes of Equal, who did a 28.8 in Sector 1, 2/10 slower than Deck at the moment. But does set a purple Sector 2, 1.5 faster than Deck. So Equal might be looking for pole position at the moment.
Yeah, it's a proper shootout now for the last 4 minutes of this.
Vesmasina keeps continuing on his laps. And Equal crossing line 29.0, so we still don't have that 28. We were close.
And it's incredibly tight through here as well, though. 9 drivers separated by 6 tenths.
Absolutely.
Anything can happen here. I think one thing for sure is that
us in the chat. Vesmasina diving in. He's gonna take the intermediates as well. Well,
I think it's made it very interesting, the full qualifying with the wet weather has made it exciting. Yeah, he backed off after the first corner, just warming his tyres up.
So in that case, the first one, there's nobody on a lap. I believe the Alpha Tauri of Flying Boy Val will be the first one to start one, so we're gonna go on board with Flying Boy Val. RPM Luke asked after the race. So there's another RPM guy joining the table soon. And Flying Boy Val coming into turn 1. We'll get Evil Master probably in front of him on a straight, so might be able to catch a slipstream there. 3/10 up on his time, so that means 29.8 at the moment, but still 2 sectors to go.
Yeah, and his teammate's not far behind him, and he'll also be setting a lap, so I'll keep an eye on Lau.
And is Evil Master coming into play? He's 7 tenths down now. So at 29.4. Might be look to a very low 29 here. But of course is enough to get on the front of the grid. And he has some time left for another lap as well.
And Lau's invalidated, so he'll be going for one more lap, I expect. He's going to
Flying by Val moves into P3 with a 29.1. So Lau invalidated, and we're not going to watch Lau. We're going to move to RPM Boris, also improving. And it looks like Boris is going to be the first car putting down a 28.
Oh, and Huss is retired.
It is Huss retired, coming out of Lesmos 2.
That's unbelievable by Boris.
28.7. Great lap there from him, but look who's coming.
That's faster than me on the soft tyres. No. Unbelievable.
Trying to see who's coming now. So Rodo in qualifying session 3 so far, not the pace we expected him to have. And it will be his final shot. Captain Mizel moves into P5. His teammate closely following Rodo. Taking pole 28.6. Great lap from Rodo.
What a lap.
Deck also coming towards the line. Not taking pole 28.8 for Deck. And
I think Deck could be slightly disappointed with that because he's been
already on the line for a 28 and does a 28.7. P3 for Evil Master. You must be very happy with that.
Yeah, clearly the Aston Martin's not as bad as I thought it was.
Flying Boy Val doing a 28.9. Fez Messina not. And Laura invalidated again. So
interestingly, Equal is 2 tenths up through the first 2 sectors.
I see Equal also putting down the fastest sector too. So also with him and Boris is only Boris taking pole 28.6, really close to Rodo. And the Mercedes of Equal now as final car crossing the line. 28.6 as well. So that's unbelievable indeed.
And it's just a great shootout there. I think definitely having a wet full qualifying worked really nicely for keeping it a surprise right to the very last second.
That's
Boris will be gutted. He's
P2.
chasing that first win and he's just been taken over with 5 seconds left to go.
A great qualifying session from these guys, and the top 3 completely within a little more than half a tenth. And this is the final results of the qualifying, as I said. Equal taking pole 28.6, half a tenth behind him, RPM Boris. Closely followed by a bit more than half a tenth, but still very close. RT Rodo, RPM Evil Master on his comeback. Great lap from him, P4, only a tenth down on pole position. RPM Deck also a great time, 2 tenths down. Flying by Val P6, Captain Michel P7, Huss in P8, Fez Messina P9, and Lau got very unfortunate, but invalidated twice and gets his car in 10th place.
And I mean, he didn't get pole, but comparative to his championship rivals, that's a very good session for Boris there.
Absolutely, he leaves Lau 8 positions behind him, already having a gap of 50 points. With 2 rounds to go after this one, he can make a big step. But I'm giving the control to my co-commentator for a moment so I can get myself something to drink.
Yeah, and that will just be Backer getting thirsty. It's a very tiring job and you need to keep hydrated. So the big question here is Inters or wet into the first lap, and it looks like everyone is on Inters here. The question is whether it stays wet for the whole race and how heavy that rain will be. And every driver, all 16 on intermediates here. So just to give you guys a taste of the constructors that's happening in mid-gear at the moment. Alpine are leading from Ferrari by 8 points, and AlphaTauri only 30 points behind Ferrari. Ferrari, not the best qualifying session for them. Boris up in second, but obviously with Alpine missing a driver today, if Ferrari can score some solid points, that could really change the constructors.
And we're back and complete again just in time. I see Mirko got disqualified for the session. Colin placing bets in the chat. How many cars make it through turn 1? Place your bets now. Brian
My first question is, what are the odds? I think Colin's started to run the underground RPM betting scene.
He might be, yes. And this is what we want to see. Quick look, no wet tires.
The consensus seems to be between 12 and 13 getting through the first corner.
So it's going down from 13 to 12 to 11. So there's not a lot of hope on a clean turn 1. While we are trying to see the lights, and we got them on, Boris.
Here you are, a moment. Lights are out. Okay, let's go.
And we're gonna, of course, try get a view on the top 5 here. It looks like Boris already took the lead from Equal. And is everyone getting through? So far, everyone's taking it really easy, and Kron lost out on a few positions there. Same for Luke. But we got officially no damage coming out of turn 1, so
that's 16
lots
through.
Of losers in the chat here. Rodo is really close and already trying it into Lesmos 1. No, getting overtaken by Evilmaster around the outside.
Yeah. And I think Vesmacina and Mirko made contact. They've dropped back. Through
there's a little gap forming there indeed.
Yeah, I think maybe one of them took too much curb. We know how dangerous those curbs are through the first chicane.
You must be very excited to see Evilmaster also gaining that 1 position already into a podium position right now. Still 26 laps to go, but
definitely on his return, he's looking very strong at the moment, Evilmaster.
Dragos very close behind Laur. We're trying to going for a move around the outside. No.
And I think maybe the big difference we'll see from last night as well is that obviously DRS plays a massive part around this circuit. With it being wet, they don't have that advantage for overtaking.
No. While we were still on board with Dragos, we see him overtaking Laur on the straight. Does get the outside in turn 1, but locks up a little, and that's Dragos. A great rejoin from him there, instead of just smashing it back on track, losing out a lot of positions. And Luke also made up some positions, lost 3 at the start, I guess, but moves himself into P10 again.
And it's a very tight race in the mid-pack. Boris is starting to check out at the front. 1.4 seconds.
Yeah, and Evenmaster also, well, of course we don't have DRS, but to say it a little easier, outside the DRS at the moment, but gained a lot on the straight, so Evenmaster is certainly running a lot of straight line speed. Almost took off 3/10 there.
Yeah, and he's looking very handy around here at the moment.
On board with him now, you see him just gaining and gaining on those straights.
And the big loser on the first 2 laps has been Ves Messina, dropping down 6 places, so from 9th to 15th.
And Mirko is really falling back a lot. I'm trying to see if Mirko maybe has any damage. And well, according to the game, Mirko is out of the session. To the task system. Saying Mirko is out of the session, but I see him drive around here, so that's a bit strange. Mirko is not driving. I just get the confirmation from Marco. Mirko is not driving, so he's already getting lapped. Eco is right behind him, and
yeah, the gap's starting to open up now. Yeah,
Deck is really close behind Evilmaster now.
Yeah, and Evilmaster was right on the back of Equal and seems to just be. He seems to gain on the straights, like you said, and then through the corners he's losing it. And I think Deck looks like he's got a handy setup through the corners. Seems to gain on him massively.
Well, we see Dragos right behind his teammate as well. Closely followed by Luke. And Luke is closely followed by Kron. So we got a 4-car train here.
Yeah, and Luke's very close behind Dragos. I wonder if he'll send this into the first corner. Dragos run wide there, that's definitely going to help him.
Does get his exit right. So Luke is not having it right now. Kron also, look, Kron is super close to Luke at the moment.
Oh
and
wow,
also,
yeah.
Luke
And
can't
Luke's
set
been
a
forced
move
around
on
the
the
outside.
outside.
He's going around the outside though. Maybe to switch back. There's not much room there, as I found out yesterday. I spent more time in the gravel around that corner.
You did learn a lot yesterday.
Yeah.
You see Deck is also really attacking those curbs in the chicanes. I can't.
And Matt Johnston saying
mine.
good pace from Boris so far, and that's absolutely true. It's lightning pace from Boris so far. He's finding the grip and he's pulling away. It reminds me very much of yesterday, just different conditions.
But the
and
same
Alpine
car.
just driving away.
Yeah,
exactly. And equal 3-second time penalty.
And again, Dragos really close to his teammate, and it looks like it looks a little like Always Rick is just keeping Dragos up right now. So I wonder if there's any team orders at McLaren going on, because Dragos is pretty much on the same gap every time.
Yeah, and Dragos is very close to Rick here now.
Also, Dragos, of course, gets the pressure from Luke behind him as well. What helps a little is that Kron is attacking Luke, and now Always Rick looks
and Kron's got the inside line.
Like he's letting Dragos pass here in turn, and he doesn't, and they make contact. So,
and it's tight between Luke and Kron. Oh my god!
It's no McLaren team orders.
Yeah, and it got very tight. Luke's lost out there, but he nearly held it. But I think he got right behind Dragos and couldn't turn in for the corner. The problem is for these guys right now, they are slowing each other up.
Yeah. Oh, Dragos also having a big moment there, opening the door for Luke, and Dragos losing out another position.
Yeah, and he'll concede through here. Luke's got the inside line, but he's got a better exit.
Oh, great exit there from Dragos. Ves Messina was also looking. to maybe join this battle a little.
Yeah, it's all kicking off from 10th to 14th, isn't it, at the moment? Just whilst we're watching that,
Evil Master.
3.3 seconds, Boris to Equal now.
It looks like Equal is also a bit struggling, taking up that penalty. Evil Master managed to get on 5/10 behind him again.
Yeah,
so we got a
his slipstream as well.
Terrain from P2 to P5 forming now as well.
And Evil Master actually being very patient there. That's what I like to see. I don't want him to hand me back a damaged Aston Martin next week.
Well, Matt Johnson now also saying in the chat, Boris P1, Deck P2, Evil P3, his predictions.
We'll come back to that at the end of the race, and maybe Matt will be our
Evil Master
man.
actually overtaking Equal, and he did show a good pace. Maybe he can catch up with Boris. I don't know. We need to see that also Boris's fuel light is burning, and yeah, I don't want to bring it up every time, but we've seen this before at the Alpine of Boris.
And just looking at the ERSs of the various drivers at the front four here, Deck seems to have just been saving it. I think he's been quite relaxed, just looking after his race. Evil Master and Equal really low on ERS at the moment.
Someone else who's really close again is Luke, behind RPM Dragos. So I'm already starting with RPM Luke, of course, so he can get used to it. Always Rick even managed to catch Loud, gaining a lot at the moment. We might see a move. No, it's not close enough to go for a move in turn one, but a late braking there from Rick, almost touching the car of Loud. Luke now looking for that little gap on Dragos, but Dragos is doing really well on his exits.
Yeah, and he's massively helping Rick out, but Rick is massively caught the Alpha Tauri of Law.
Yeah, but we'll need to get past.
Just looking at the gaps at the front as we're watching all the battling, Evil Masters took a second out of Boris in the last lap and a half.
Yeah, so he is gaining what, of course, we hoped for.
So whether Boris went too hard on those tyres early on?
Gonna have a quick look on the tyre wear, and Evil Master I can't see somehow. But
I mean, the interesting thing here is obviously Boris is going for the title, and I'm pretty sure Evil Master, having raced against him, will be going for the win. He always does. If they get close, how hard will Boris fight it? Will he be happy for more solid points?
Well, we also know, of course, that Evil Master and Boris, there is some friction between both. While we see Equal having a moment there, and Rodo even moving into P3 right now, overtaking Deck and Equal. I don't know if there was contact. I was just looking at the touch system, and all of a sudden Rodo moves into P3.
Yeah, and Rodo's been showing very good pace round Monza in the wet.
Well, Luke is has finally managed to get past Dragos. Needed to work hard for it, but got the position and will be looking to catch Kron right now. So 1.6 seconds he already lost out on him.
So I think the big question here is, how long do these inters last?
Well, we are in lap 8 right now, and according to the tire wear, the biggest tire wear is on Rodo, his car, who's having 37% already on the left front.
Yeah, so there's no way his tyres are going to make it to the end then.
I don't think so, no. Although Kron is really managing his tyres really well, only on 20%. So Rodo is almost a double. Rick having a look around the outside on Loud in turn 1.
And he should have that done. Beautiful. But
Kron's got like a bit of... Yeah, it looked like there was a bit of contact. The wheels got stuck in each other there.
Yeah.
What made Loud lose a lot of position.
Yeah, Rick's conceding. I think he's not happy with his move himself, and he's conceded that position back. But Kron managed to massively take advantage of that battle. He's now up 6 places in this race. Carving through the field.
Someone else who's carving through the field right now is Evil Master. It's not going that fast as before, but 2.3 seconds and a 2.4 seconds to the car behind.
Yeah, and I think the main thing here is if you can avoid penalties. He went a bit wide there, but if you can put Boris under pressure and just keep him guessing.
Also, you never know, maybe having a little undercut here in the rain, it won't get you like 2 seconds, but if you can get that 1 second off, you're getting a little bit closer. Can get some of the slipstream from Boris.
Yeah, and Equal seems to be massively struggling in this race. He had very good qualifying pace. He was absolutely flying, and he's just going backwards at the moment, isn't he, in the race?
Yeah, he's not showing the pace he had before. Also, Colin noticing New Year, New Evil. He's driving very well. Yeah, he absolutely is. And Jono asking, is the track drying up? It doesn't look like it so far. But it might be at a point where you maybe want new Inters, because new Inters, they work way and way better than old ones. And then maybe hope for a dry track at the end. We see Deck gaining on Equal as well, 2/10 behind him now. Also having a better line there in Ascari. Well, it did look like a better line. Does lose out on Equal.
Yeah, and Boris is just 3-second penalty for Rick. Boris is starting to extend his advantage to Evil Master now, and I didn't even realise Luke's got past both the McLarens there.
Yeah, I didn't realise that either. So
and he's right
maybe
in the back of the AlphaTauri as well.
Deck going for a move on Equal for P4 in turn 1. He takes the inside in. He's already passed before the corner. So maybe Deck will definitely look to put some pressure on Rodo now. Great exit from Deck as well, already gaining 3/10. Well, we see Captain Mizel moving towards Haas as well. Haas is really managing his tires because the tire system is telling me that Haas is the car on track with the lowest tire wear. So Haas is really looking out for them, and of course if those guys box and he can last them to maybe a switch over point.
Yeah, and we've got the issue coming up now that Boris is coming behind Mirko, who's obviously in AI mode, to lap him, and Evil Master's not far behind.
Evil
This
Master
could be crucial.
Actually managed to get in that 1 second. Or in the 2 seconds. It's been like 2.8, 2.7.
If he can dispatch Mirko quickly, he'll lose out a lot less from...
moment there for Evil.
Yeah. Very well held though.
Absolutely great save from him. I lost a lot of time because of it, but yeah, blocking the AI of Mirko there.
Now behind Deck as well. Just doesn't seem to have the pace in the race at the moment, Equal. Unbelievable in qualifying, but struggling a lot more in the race.
Yeah, and Deck managed to get really close to Rodo now. So Deck, and of course, knowing Deck, he will love to get that podium as well. Yeah, but still absolutely. 15 laps to go, anything can happen. Drago's really close behind Luke again. Not thinking about a move so far. But and Luke there takes a lot of curb, gets launched. And that opens the door for Dragos. And the other McLaren now try to take advantage from it as well. I'm looking at the gaps real quick so I don't miss out on a move from Deck. And he is gaining a lot, but not enough to go for the move. But it might be happening now on the straight.
Yeah, if he can get that slipstream, he's got an advantage on ERS, but I imagine Rodo will be using all his ERS to defend this.
He will need to go taking the outside line.
And you run out of room quite quickly through here.
Oh,
as we found
Rodo
Lewis
with
and Max.
a great defensive line there.
Really good defense.
Not at this lap. That's what Rodo might be saying right now.
And this battling is just allowing Evil Master and Boris to completely check out at the front.
Yeah, gap is getting to 4.5 almost.
Yeah, and imagine it'd be 5 towards the end of this lap.
So Evil Master will be really happy with this. Boris, yeah, of course, will be happy with it as well. Although Evil Master keeps on gaining and gaining. And then at some point he is getting a little bit unlucky. So
I think the question is here, will people go for the undercut or will someone take the risk in, say, 5, 6, 7 laps time on dry tyres if they're way outside the points? So looking at, you know, Crago, Vest, Messina, maybe they'll try and risk something.
Yeah, that will be the interesting thing. We see Evil Master doing the fastest lap of the race right now.
He's just 1.2 behind now. I don't know if Boris made a mistake that lap as well, but that's massively closed up in the last lap.
And we see Deck and Equal both coming in. New Inters for both drivers.
Yeah, a few drivers coming in as well.
Luke coming in as well. And that might be the interesting point. Like I said, if you fit those New Inters.
Yeah, the pace advantage might give you a very good undercut.
Yeah, they are way and way faster. And we're halfway the race, so it also looks like a normal period to take them.
And if you were Boris or Evil Master, I think you'd be pretty safe on your strategy here. They've got a 6 second-ish gap to the next few cars behind that. The other cars are way behind. I think they'll play it safe on strategy. I'm
wondering, Evil Master now being at 1.2 seconds, this should be the moment for him, in my opinion, to get those New Inters. Be smarter than Boris.
Yeah, try and undercut.
Yeah.
And Boris has got a lot more ERS, so I don't think he'll be able to potentially do it on track.
And Boris is not falling for it. So Boris will go in. So there's no
I think Boris is maybe listening to us at the moment.
Yeah, he might be. There's no undercut coming from Evil Master, who will take the lead in this race.
Matt Johnson says he'd like to see the tries. Going to be an option at the end.
I hope so.
It could be close. It's quite enjoyable watching it without the DRS. It's very powerful round here with the massive straights. But he's gone wide at the chicane as well.
Another thing, what comes into play right now is those guys trying to take those Inters to the switchover point. They will not box and be traffic for Boris all the way. And Evil might be one of those guys.
Yeah, and I think that might be what Evil's thinking. Maybe he was aware that he drained his ERS. I don't know how long the pit stop here is, but he's got a 23.5-second gap to Boris. So if he did want to cover it off, it'd be very tight at the moment. I imagine it's around 24 seconds, the pit stop.
Yeah, the gap to the leader, we can see that.
Marco's saying Boris has a
23,
great engineer, that's why.
And
I'm guessing Marco is his engineer.
And by the looks of the gap to Boris, it will be, if it's 24 seconds, Boris will come out in front of him, was like 3/10 in front of him.
Yeah, unless we end up seeing a Hamilton-Verstappen thing on the exit here.
Oh, that would cause some chaos with the rivalry of Boris and Evil. Where is Evil? I lost him. We're gonna see where Boris is. And yes, Evil Master coming out of the pit lane here.
And it is gonna be a Verstappen-Hamilton moment slightly. No, Boris is just clear. But Evil on fresher tyres, he's right behind him. He was 1.2 behind before, and now it's cut down to 6-7 tenths. And this is the battle for the lead, essentially.
Yeah, and also the 20% ERS Boris has more won't give him a lot of benefit, knowing what we've seen so far. Evil is running way more straight line speed than all the other cars on the track.
Yeah, the other thing he's got to be careful of now is in the dirty air. If you push in too hard, you can really lose your traction and a lot of grip and make mistakes.
We see Deck really close behind Rodo as well. Of course, this is a provisional fight for P3. Unless those guys in front will take them all to the end. And Evil knows Boris is going to be caught up by those guys as well. Flying Boy Vel is going for his pit stop, giving the lead to the Mercedes of Kron.
Yeah, and the front three have all got a pit yet. They haven't pitted, and I think that shows it. Boris with that 129.4, those fresh inters are clearly working very well.
That's a 6/10 improvement on the previous fastest lap. Maybe Evil will go improve even
still
more.
Not, yeah, Evil's still not losing him. It's very tight.
It's like a battle of the giants coming up right now.
The key thing here is Boris has got 50% ERS to Evil with 27% last time I checked.
Yeah, 34 right now, and Boris on 60. So, but yeah, Evil will be hoping Laur and Kron might be staying out another lap. Keep Boris up.
Well, Lau and Kron, have they stayed out a couple of laps too long? Because they've been massively caught already.
Yeah,
and they'll
Lau,
be
of course,
right back in the pack.
His teammate went in this lap, so he couldn't. Also, Rodo out of ERS. Deck also
and
one of the cars with a massive ERS advantage.
Boris and Evil Master are incredibly close right now, just 4 tenths.
And Loud staying out another here. Lap.
No, he just can't get him on the straight.
But looking at the gap Boris had to Loud, and it's now 1 second, so Boris will need to get past Loud to get some breathing space from Evil Master. But Loud is not going to give that position just away like it's nothing, because he knows Boris is his biggest rival in the championship standings.
And of course, Lau doesn't have to pit if he doesn't want to. I mean, it would be incredibly risky to go that distance, but you know, if he can defend it, he doesn't have to pit.
Deck passing Rodo and taking P5. Unfortunate to see is that the gaps after P6 are starting to grow.
Yeah, and interestingly, Kron is now nearly 7 seconds ahead of these guys. I think what will be going through Kron's head now is, does he stay out and try and make those inters work till the end?
And there is
everyone else
an
gets held
attack
up.
coming from Evil Master. And he passes Boris.
Yeah, and I think Boris is being very clever there. He's leading a championship. He doesn't want to fight too hard and get caught up into some unnecessary contact.
Boris did push his ERS a lot for this. He's down to 24%. Well,
As Vesmacina picks up a 3-second penalty, yeah.
And now it's going to be interesting. Can Evil Master manage to get past Laur easily and rather sooner than later?
They're losing about half a second to Kron at the moment. I don't know if you could see what Kron's tyres are looking like, but if he can keep this going, he could well win this on not stopping.
Well, Kron is also managing his tyres very well because Laur in P2 will have to box very soon. His highest tyre wear is on his rear left, and it's on 75% already, while Kron is only on 52.
So Kron might be trying to just extend this and hope that they can't catch him enough.
Yeah, although the game just the task
yellow
system
flag
really...
sets 2. It won't be a safety car though, I don't think. It just looks like a spin from Craigo.
Yeah, unfortunate spin from him. Bit of an invisible race as well from him. Still adapting to his wheel. And we might see a move coming from Evil Master now into turn 1 on Laur. Boris won't be able to get a move done on Evil Master. Laur taking a really defensive line there.
Oh, and it's very close between them there, yeah.
But Evil keeps his nose in there. Great move from Evil there.
Space.
And now it's up to Boris to fight it out with his rival in the championship standing. Gaining a lot, but lifts off. No risk taken by Boris here. And that's sensible driving from him. So this leaves Boris and Laur as the closest gap on track so far. Well, always Rick has been behind Luke for a moment, quite a long moment, and while I'm switching to him, he might have been onto a run there.
And Evil Master is massively closing up on Kron already, but obviously Boris being stuck behind Lau is just losing lots of time to Kron. So
yeah, Marko Salinovic is just confirming to us in the chat. He knows for a fact that Kron won't be pitting. He's 100% sure about that.
I think that makes sense. If Kron pitted, he'd be mid-pack and with not enough laps to get past everyone.
Also,
I think he has to commit to that.
He's not going to box anymore. And will it be enough for Evil? 6.5 seconds. He gained massively in the last lap. But will it be
Boris
enough?
is having a look on Lau now. This could be a very crucial moment.
Around the outside.
And crucially on the inside for the next corner.
Lau braking late. Oh, there's a little bit of
contact. Not massive amounts of contact, but a little bit. It's even tougher to judge in the wet.
And
Boris
there is Deck.
Getting increasingly frustrated. A Deck! Very opportunistic.
Showing up.
I didn't even realise he was that close. I thought he was way further down the road. Yeah, I think Boris just has to keep his head here. He's got a championship lead to some good solid points.
Yeah, also he will come under the pressure of Rodo right now. Having a way better exit in Ascari
massively
as
under
well.
Pressure. And from looking like he was fighting for the lead 2 laps ago, Boris is down in 6th.
Yeah, where he was so sensitive on not making any moves, stupid moves. he went for one move on Lau. There was a bit of contact. Of course, we're still racing, and I don't think it was a lot of contact.
Yeah, it was just, it looked quite like a racing incident. They both
Deck
were.
is now going for a move on Lau.
But Rodo's right up on deck as well. It's going to get very messy through here. And Evil Master has checked out. He took over Lau, 3 laps ago, and now he's already pulled out 6 seconds on this battle. Oh, and
I don't know. There's a spin somewhere.
Kron! It's spun! Evil Master, 10th behind him. I don't know what happened to Kron. There was a bat marker with Mirko Lesko was involved in that. Yeah.
Yeah, I did see a Mercedes in my screen spinning, so I switched to Equal. I didn't notice it was Kron, and there goes Evil Master for the lead in this race.
I have a feeling that the Williams will be involved in that, because he's not far behind them. And whether Kron came out the corner quickly and then he crashed into the back of the Williams there.
Also, Marco indeed confirming Kron hits Mirko's AI. Lau still managing to hold on to that P3 position.
It's nice to know from Marco I'm actually getting some things right tonight, as everything I got wrong last night.
Deck taking the inside there in Parabolica and getting the move done on Lau.
And now he's 6.7 seconds behind Kron.
Boris didn't fight Equal, I guess, but fell down in another position.
So he's down to 7th now, but in front of him there is no massive championship rivals, am I right in thinking?
Only Lau in P2, who is...
Oh, so that's maybe a 10-point swing.
And we got a yellow flag in Sector 1. I'm trying to see who it was.
Yeah, I think that was Mirko again.
Oh, it's always Rick. Spun around in turn 1. He's hitting some boardings now.
I will plead the Fifth Amendment there. I'm hoping I can still rescue my job on a exit interview.
Don't be too afraid for him. Yeah, it's either you or he can sit here himself 3 nights in the week.
And Lau and Rodo are side by side.
Optimistic move from Rodo around the outside.
A very good move, and kept it clean as well.
And there's an Alpine right behind Lau, of course, who is really happy with that move.
Yeah. But while all this is going on, Huss and Meisel are massively closing up on this, and Val too. Luke will be just too far behind, but from having massive gaps, it's all closed right up for the last few laps.
Yeah, and I don't know why. Maybe the track is drying up a little, and those new inters start falling off more.
I think as well, when they came up to lap Mirko, I think that started to put the cat amongst the pigeons a little bit. I think it started to slow some people down.
Named Huss. I took a look and he was on 1.2 seconds, and it's at 5/10 to Boris right now. So I'm going to have a little look on the task to see if Boris maybe has any damage.
To think about 6-7 laps ago, Boris looked like, with Evil Master, he was going to be fighting for the win. He's found himself in the middle of the pack, and that just shows you how much it changes in the wet.
And someone in front, I can confirm from the task system, is going to be afraid the next coming lap, and that's Lau. His left rear tire is on 94% at the moment.
Yeah, so
with 3 laps to go, and
well, he's going to have to risk it, isn't he? Otherwise, he's going to end up nowhere.
You can also see
that just could mean a puncture in the spin.
The onboard camera to the back of Lau's car. You see those inters are have become totally slicks.
Yeah,
no profile left on this car.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then, did look like an optimistic move from Equa there, who just had to remain his patience. Now moving Boris back into Lau again. And
incredibly though, Lau has defended amazingly during this race on that old of Inters.
Yeah, but look at Boris. Oh, and there's contact there. And that didn't look really well. Boris also.
It's that I did not see what happened. I was watching some of the other drivers.
And it looked like Boris just hit Laur there.
Now Flying Boy Val is right on the back of Boris. It's amazing how things change.
Boris letting everyone pass, so Boris knows he was in the
Marco's
wrong
saying
here.
Boris' only damage is in his head. Maybe a bit of debris hit his helmet all the way round.
Yeah, we see. I do think Boris takes the blame on this one. As I said, it looked like it, and
He's down to 9th now.
yeah, he's letting everyone pass who comes behind him.
And Lau's disqualified.
He parked his car in a dangerous location. He's stuck on a curb. And these that we have seen that before. So we didn't see a puncture from Lau. But we did see a qualification, and we did see an incident between the number 1 and number 2.
And I think it shows you here
standings.
how important it is when you have the different strategies in traffic. Evil Master and Boris were close all race. Evil Master managed to dispatch the slower traffic and is now leading, and Boris is down in 9th. That's how important it is to get round the traffic. But he's back past Equal.
Yeah, he's taking up the pace again.
And just to remind everyone, he's got a 50-point gap, so it's not totally the end of the world, but
Also,
I think he would have been hoping for a bit of more.
Jono in the
solid
chat
points.
saying, I gotta see the POV from that incident, that was mad. These last few laps have been crazy. I agree on that one.
Yeah, it's been very hard to keep up.
I don't know who this guy is, but I don't have a sister from 19 who's online. I'm gonna delete this message in the chat real quick.
And I'll tell you what's impressive here is that Kron is still only 1.2 behind Evil Master, having done the whole race on those inters.
Yeah, great pace from Kron on those tires. And I need to say already, also a great comeback from Evil Master so far.
Yeah, I'll be very pleased with that. I think Lawrence Stroll will be giving him a pat on the head for that one.
Yeah, I heard he is firing you to Williams.
It sounds like everybody's firing me today. Lawrence, Rick. It's been a very difficult day today.
Well, the battles on track are now
But Kron's
done
dropped
by the
back
looks
now
of it.
massively. And he's just dropped back 2 seconds.
Yeah, I do think he's not taking any risk anymore on those tires.
Maybe no risks, or does he have a puncture?
And not according to the task, so we're moving on to Evil Master in his Aston Martin, crossing the line, taking the win here in Monza. Showed great pace today. Kron in his Mercedes getting P2 and Deck getting P3. Rodo finishes the line P4, the second Red Bull on grid. Huss getting it P5, Captain Mizel's P6, Flying Boy Val P7, Boris P8.
But Boris
Luke
crucially picks
took
up the fastest lap there.
P10, but got past someone because of a penalty. P9 for Luke there. Equal P10, Dragos P11, and always Rick P12. Bit of an invisible race from him. Didn't stand out today. Fast Machina now coming towards the line P13. Grego in P14. And that's it. Mirko, of course, who disconnected. Yeah, unfortunately, no podium for Boris, so we can't ask him about what happened between him and Laur. But I'm pretty sure you will try get in the podiums, interview podium winners.
Yeah. And I completely missed that incident. I happened to be on another battle and just completely missed it.
Well, we did caught it on stream.
But yeah, like I really think the qualifying and the race there were massively helped with the wet. It just really threw everything into a chaos. I mean, Kron rising from 15th on the grid all the way to 2nd. It's an amazing race.
Yeah, great
Oh,
race.
and there he is. Sounds very happy with that.
It's a joke.
I don't know how you made those tyres last. I know everyone's not here now, but it's amazing.
Do you understand that Mirko Leško AI? I got a contact with him and I spawned. But if that didn't happen, I will finish first. And I can't believe it.
Oh yeah. When you were coming to lap the back marker.
Yeah. Mirko disconnected at the start.
I didn't see it, but I saw that there was a yellow flag, and I saw that the back marker was also there.
I don't know how I managed to make contact with the IE. That's so stupid. I don't know how, but I did it.
Yeah, that was very unfortunate. We were talking about Evil Master was, of course, behind you, already gaining a lot of times on those freshened tires. You made it a little bit easier for him by that, but maybe you could have even pulled it off at the end. If that didn't happen.
But, if that didn't happen, I would finish first. I'm 100% sure.
Yeah, you managed your tires really well.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, incredible.
Yeah, I did.
I think we were saying coming into the last lap as well, you were 1.2 behind when you may have been overtaken about 3-4 laps before on those old tyres. You just stuck with Evil.
Yeah, and to compare it with Laur, who we unfortunately lost. He DNF'd late in the race, but he was also trying the same as you did on the not boxing. And he was 4 laps or 3 laps before the end. He was on 94% on his left rear, and you were only on 65. Yeah. So he really did a great job on managing tires there.
Yeah, I didn't plan it. So after, I don't know, 10, 15 laps, I saw that I'm not wearing my tires. So I put down the differential on 60% or something to spare my rear. And then I said that I'm going to the end, and I managed it.
Yeah, you did a great job gaining 13 positions, finishing P2. Big congrats from my side, and of course from Jones.
And sorry for this. Now I stole this interview, but it's not about me. It's about the winner.
We like it when it flows naturally. It helps us out.
Yeah, and moving on to who's in the party, I believe it's Deck.
Yep.
Well, go on, Jones.
So how did you find that, Deck? It was a bit of an up and down race. I saw you and your teammate were was it 6th and 7th for a long time, and then I think Boris was having some issues towards the end, and we didn't even realise you were that close, and all of a sudden you were past Boris.
Yeah, I don't know what happened. Did he get damaged or something?
No,
apparently not. No,
Boris is just in Croatia we said pička. He's listening now, so he will understand.
Oh, I thought he had like wing damage or something, because I remember he was quite a while ahead, and then I started catching him. And yeah, so I didn't expect to be third. I mean, Q3 was bad. I think the last lap I didn't do too well, and then I think I ended up 5th.
Yeah, you seem to be really fast in Q1 and Q2, and then just didn't seem to quite find the pace in Q3, right?
Yeah. And then I think you lose a lot of time around here in the wet when you're stuck behind other people. I couldn't really. Took me a while to get him on the straights. You have to get the exit kind of perfect. And then, yeah, like you said, it kind of picked up towards the end. So, yeah, happy with third, especially in the rain.
Yeah, and I think it must have. How did you find planning out the race, especially with the longer qualifying, the changeable conditions? How was that for you?
Yeah, I wasn't expecting the wet. Yeah, I just after I looked at the weather thing, I just put on a full wet setup. And I didn't really know you could go for a one stopper. I didn't think it was possible. Yeah, because I caught, was it Lauer? It was him and Cron tried to one stop, and I caught Lauer really quick.
Yeah.
I couldn't believe that Cron was at that pace really on the one stop. Just could not catch him.
Yeah, he was looking after his tyres like a magician.
Yeah. So well done. That was good for him.
But yeah, great race. And really tough conditions. I struggled enough in the dry, so amazing race today in the wet.
Bro. Thank you.
And last but not least, I don't know if Evil actually joined. Evil is here as well. Congratulations, what a comeback to RPM.
Yeah, thank you very much.
The questions I always leave to my co-commentator Jones.
Yeah, great race, Evil. Do you think the big difference was when you came up to the traffic with Boris? You were very close for a lot of the race, and then you seemed to just get a move done.
Yeah, I was gonna try do the overcut or just try do a no stop, but I decided to box because I didn't want to take the risk of getting a puncture.
Can you put your mic a little bit up?
I thought Cron got a puncture at the last lap, so yeah, I decided not to take the no stop strategy, and traffic did play a massive part in me catching up to Boris, especially Mirko's AI. That got in the way.
Yeah, and you seem to have really good pace today. I think in Q3 you Q1 you seemed to struggle a little bit, but then Q2, Q3 it really seemed to come together to you when inters became available. How did you find that?
Well, I don't really personally like the wets. It's just no grip. Inters, it's more dry. It's a more dry track, so more grip, honestly. And yeah, really, that's it. Just the inters just have more grip, honestly, and much better for me.
No, yeah, it was a great race, and yeah, but you kept it all together. I saw you had a few moments where you were very close to people as well, and it looked like you could potentially send it up the inside, but you kept your patience. Was that what you were planning for, just to stick with it and wait till the end?
Yeah, until the opportunity arose, and during the final laps, I may have been going slow, but that was because I didn't want to bottle the victory, because my rears, I kept on lighting up my rears in those final laps, so yeah.
Yeah, and just an unbelievable race. Shame about Cron getting caught up with the back marker, but I guess for you it was a happy sight.
Yeah, it was. I didn't think I was actually going to catch him, because the gap was 1 second a lap, and then it went to 5 tenths, and then went to 2 tenths. I didn't think I was going to catch him, but luckily that back marker got in the way and made him spun. So yeah.
Yeah, and great race, and very good at sticking with it. I mean, I'm always happy to see an Aston Martin on the podium. But yeah, great race tonight. Don't know if you have any questions, Backer.
No, I don't. One more time, congratulations to the podium. Tough conditions, great racing, no safety cars, quite surprisingly.
And no warnings.
It was also a joy to commentate on. There happened a lot in a short amount of time. I hope to see everyone who was watching the stream back tomorrow for high gear. And big thanks for watching from my side, also from my co-commentator. And I wish you all a very good evening.
Yeah, thank you. You too.
Yeah, cheers, mate.